This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Domain.com.
Hello, welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
And I'm Shannon Morse.
And it's your weekly dose of Technolust.
Yay! We're back in the studio!
It feels so good to be back.
I know.
Back with the bricks.
It's been a while.
Should we tell them? No.
Bricks.
Let's
No.
wait.
Let's wait. Yeah.
Yes, we love the bricks.
We have a thing happening.
Yay, hooray for things.
Can I tell you a story
Please
about
do.
the changes
just-
in my life?
Yeah, let's just vent.
Okay.
It's now the vent block.
So I get really, really tired of the fact that businesses are still living in like the 1980s, and it drives me nuts. It freaking drives me nuts. So I have to sign up for health insurance because I'm a contractor. I do shows at
and you're
several
hustling.
places. And I'm hustling, right? I'm hustling to make
3
the beer
networks,
money.
right?
So I have to do my own health insurance as opposed to just going through my employer. Because I don't have an employer. I have clients.
Yeah, there you go.
Like Mr. Kitchen. So I sign up with this hospital's health insurance. I'm like, cool, I fill out a form online and it says, okay, it's processing. And then this guy calls me and he's like, oh, we need you to send the marriage certificate so we can prove your new relationship or whatever.
Right, because you get the spousey spouse.
Yeah, spousey spouse changes your health insurance. So I was like, okay, no problem. Can I just PDF it to you? What email should I use? And the guy's like, oh, well, I don't know how they handle PDFs in the background, so you should probably fax it. So here's the number. And I was like, wait, I don't have a fax machine.
No.
And he was like, oh, well, you can go to
Of course you
FedEx and pay money
What?
to have them fax it for you.
Dude.
And I was like, I'm not gonna go use my mileage in my car to go down the road to some FedEx to have them send this insecure file to you for my very private,
Right.
confidential piece of paper.
But it's not like if you tried to do, it by email, they would even know what PGP is
No,
anyway.
they would have no freaking clue. But I'd prefer to send it over email as opposed to just fax machine
yes. Well,
that anybody could walk up to and be like, "What's this piece of paper? Oh, who's this?" So.
Sure.
But I guess they could do that
Well,
online too. But anyway,
you could
eventually
just get one of those internet fax things as we do at the Hack Shop.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
should.
sad that we actually have a
But you
fax
gotta
line
pay
for
for
the
that
Hack Shop,
too.
but some of those clients are
So
really old
I
school.
sent him the fax through my friend who just so happens to have a fax machine at his office. I'm like, can you just fax this for me? He's like, cool, sure, no problem. So he sends it. I send the guy a message. I'm like, hey, I sent over the fax. How long does it usually take? And he's like, cool. Once they get the fax, they'll upload it.
You mean they're just going to scan it into a PDF? I just dealt with the same thing.
Really?
Dude.
I
I
just
love that
wanted
there's...
to
Okay,
throw
whoa.
things at him.
Calm down. Just cordially remind him next time. Just ask, just like, oh, fax, I've heard of that. Wasn't there a patent on the fax machine from, oh, that's right, 1909.
Over 100 years ago.
I know. Look it up. Totally crazy pants.
So what happened to you?
A recent issue that was very similar. In fact, called a bank because I needed a statement, and I was like, hey, can you just send me that statement? And they were like, oh yeah, we can pull it up and we can email you a PDF. And I'm like, fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, they did that, and the PDF was pretty much from like one of the office big scanner printer copier machines.
Yeah.
So they
So
actually
it worked.
explained to me the process that they went to the computer, printed out the statements, and then took it to the copier and scanned them into a PDF and emailed me. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Okay. So I called him back and I was like, hey, listen, that's convenient, but I don't feel like doing all this OCR, and then don't even say OCR because they don't understand.
You had
like,
to
what?
select
I'm like,
text.
well, I can't read the stuff. She's like, oh, was it not high resolution or whatever? And I'm like, no, it's just that the computer can't read it. She's like, well, I can read it. I'm like, no, I can read it too, but the computer can't. And so I'm like,
So they didn't understand that you can't select text in a...
right. It's because
it's
it's
a
a
picture.
bitmap.
It's
yes.
a picture.
And so what's hilarious about this is
no.
I've done 10 years of sysadmin stuff. I've gotten out of that. I never expected to have to give this bank tech support, but I'm on the phone with the lady and I'm like, and I have no idea what's on the other end of this esoteric program at the bank, but I'm just like,
I do.
if you click file, do you see an export or save option? She's like, no, but I see save to PDF. And I'm like, click that. Should I put it on my desktop? Yes, sure. and then she sends me the thing, and then I'm like selecting the text. I'm like, wonderful, I have it. And she's like, oh, this is going to save a lot of paper.
Oh my God.
This is the same bank, which, by the way, when I tried to get them to like, hey, just send me your public key and, you know, we can PGP buddies and all that stuff. And they were like, oh, no, it's secured on our end. And I'm like, right, but in between, like, she's like, no, it happens on, and she's like, talk to the network administrator. The network administrator told her to tell her that they have an automated system that secures the emails when they come in.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
We should, you know what, feedback at hak5.org. We will share your horror stories.
Tech horror stories.
Oh, you know, that could be an entire other
2014,
podcast.
people.
Sorry, every now and then you need to vent. So 9 years of Hak5, now you get some venting. Why is this mic not working?
I'm gonna play with the antennas in Linux today.
Damn it. The knife is broken.
You should put that down. No, you're doing it backwards. You need to put that down. We know what happens whenever you touch sharp things.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yes, that is that. And then when we get back, there's SDRs and stuff. BRB. Welcome to Point Richmond, this cozy little community here on the San Francisco Bay Coast that is cornered by industry like oil refineries and, well, the termination of a railroad, in fact. Some may even say it's the end of the line, figuratively, literally. It's also a great proving ground for a fun new Hak5 project that involves birdhouses. It seems today everything is getting a Wi-Fi chip, be it a phone, a tablet, a thermostat, a car, and while some may say Internet of Things, I say Internet of awesome ability to capture and monitor and log. And while I can stand on this street corner and take photographs all day of everybody's unique license plate on their cars, similarly, I can use a Wi-Fi Pineapple to automate the process collecting the unique identification numbers out of, say, smartphones that people carry around everywhere. Just like your car has unique number plates, your phone actually has many unique numbers as well, and we can actually pick some of these up over Wi-Fi and use it to determine, say, your manufacturer, as well as perhaps when it was made, and then also using timestamps, we can actually record where it was at certain times and then come up with awesome heat maps and other really fun graphs and reports. Interestingly, here in Point Richmond, there are only 3 entrance and exits to the downtown, which means that with only 3 monitoring stations, we could actually record the occurrences of Wi-Fi enabled devices like smartphones that people carry, and then over time create a database that we can then glean interesting information about when and what pathways devices took, as well as even perhaps predicting where devices would be in the future. Now, if you've been following the show for a while, you're probably familiar with our friend, the Wi-Fi Pineapple, which does a fantastic job of doing monitoring of this nature. The packet that we're looking for in particular, a frame in fact, is something that modern smart devices are broadcasting out all of the time, called a probe request, right? And whether they're to broadcast or to a particular access point, it doesn't matter, because in that probe request is something called the BSSID. Similar to an ESSID is the name of an access point, the BSSID is the name of the device. A lot of times we call it the MAC address, and what's awesome about it is not only does it tell us the manufacturer of a device, in this case I could actually tell just from over the air that it was manufactured by Huawei, but I can actually say, hey, that's that unique device, and I can see the same device over and over again over time. So rather than use the Wi-Fi Pineapple in its more traditional role as, say, a pen test pivot box or rogue access point, we're going to be focusing on passive reconnaissance. Meaning we're only going to be passively recording information that's already being broadcast into the air in the public, and then just snipping out the interesting bits, logging to a file with a timestamp, and then over the course of a couple of weeks, with a few Wi-Fi Pineapple equipped birdhouses, we should have some interesting data to analyze. So here's what we have thus far. Wi-Fi Pineapple inside of a birdhouse, lots of room to grow here, and battery pack. And essentially this is just going to listen for probe requests, log them with a timestamp to a file. I'll be able to grab this over the course of a couple of weeks, come up with an awesome database, and it just chills there all inconspicuous like. What's interesting about this project is it is so multifaceted. Of course, there is the very first, like, let's just make it do the thing. There's the hardware, there's the software, there's the analyzing the data. But of course, in unending hacker fashion, we're going to continue to over-engineer this to enhance the capabilities, and that should be a lot of fun. And here's what's really going to be great. I would love to get you guys involved. So if you have some awesome ideas of what we can do with this, I will be releasing anonymized data sets so that you guys, if you have some interesting ideas of how to otherwise visualize that data or glean some interesting gems from it, come up with that cool Perl Python regex foo. That should be good. I just got to figure out a way to keep the birds from getting in. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of free candy or OpenSky or Tetra or Logic Link or a turkey, or if the open source encryption software has been made by the government the whole time, or obfuscated, or a frame, or if a packet hits a pocket on a socket, on a port, or free mustaches. If you have a conspiracy theory, you need to snag a domain name and web hosting fast. Boom, up and running. You need a website. A website needs a domain, and you can get those over at domain.com. Then get this, domain.com, they get a very quick domain discovery system and a very easy checkout process. And you know what that means? Boom, up and running. I don't know where this is going. Did you know the first female pilots were called aviatrix? Whoa! The guys over at domain.com, huge fans of Hak5. And I've told you time and time again, guys, domain.com is awesome because they're affordable, they're reliable, they're easy to use, they're super fun, but mainly because they're a fun place to do business. They're active on social media. You can tweet them at domain.com and see why. It's just, they're fun guys. Boom, up and running. They're so much fun to do business with. These guys are zany. These guys are fun and crazy, and they love Hak5, and they want to hook you up, so that's why they came out with a very easy to remember coupon code for Hak5 viewers like you. It's called HAK5, and it spells Hak5, and with it at domain.com's checkout, you get an extra 15% off. Whoa! And when you think domain names, think domain.com. Is that right, Bear? Yeah, see, Bear agrees.
It's time for the trivia question of the week. Last week's trivia question was, which scientist's notebook are still too radioactive to handle? And the answer was Marie Curie. Interesting. Ooh, radioactive, so fun. Now this week's trivia question is, what was Apple's code name for the iPod, the original iPod? You can answer that over at hak5.org/trivia for your chance to win some awesome Hak5 goodies. Good luck. One of our super cool, awesome viewers asked, how can I get RTL-SDR working on Linux? Well, it kind of depends on which distro you're using, but I decided to go over a few steps today. For example, we are still using the handy dandy little DVR SDR dongle that we've been using up till now. And I know that we've gone over a little bit of Linux tutorials, but for the most part, we've been using Windows 8.1 for practically everything up till now. So if you are using some sort of Debian Linux distro, here are the steps that you can use to actually compile it and get it running on here, so you can actually get your RTL-SDR dongle running through the terminal. You don't even have to open up any other programs. You can just get it running straight through your terminal. So first off, you want to go ahead and run sudo apt-get update. Make sure that everything is compiled and updated on your sudo apt-get. So we'll go ahead and let that run real quick. Okay, so that finished, and now we're going to type in sudo apt-get install git, which you most likely already have git on your computer, but just in case. And then we'll do sudo apt-get install cmake. Oops. Okay, so now that we've got that, you also need to install this thing called libusb. So this one is a little bit different. It's sudo apt-get install lib, L-I-B, USB -1.0-0.dev. And hit enter, so that'll go ahead and install. And then the last thing you need to install is sudo apt-get, and this one is called build essentials. Build essential, no S. All right, so now that you have all of those done, you can finally get to the RTL drivers. So this is similar to how in Windows we had to use that zadig thing to install the drivers. With this, we're going to clone a git file from Osmocom. So this is git space clone. So this clones it. Git ://osmocom.org/rtl-sdr.git. And then it's going to tell me that it already exists because I've already created it before, but that's what you need to actually put in. So now we can CD over to our new RTL folder, RTL-SDR, and in here you want to make a new directory called build. And it's going to tell me that already exists again, but you want to make the directory called build and then change the directory over to, change directory over to build. There we go. And we want to now make a file called deinstall udev rules and then turn that to on. So to do this, you type in cmake space // space dash. There's no space after the dash, and then you type in deinstall _ udev _ rules equals on. And hit enter. Go ahead and let that run, and then you need to make that file. So hit make. It'll go ahead and build all the dependencies for that. Once that completes, type in sudo make install and then sudo ld config. Okay, so we're almost done. Now we need to copy some files over to the RTL-SDR rules folder. So to do this, you type in cp space / RTL-SDR.rules, and then there's a space /etc /udev /rules.d / and then hit enter. So that'll go ahead and copy over. Oh, sorry, I forgot to add sudo at the beginning. I guess I should have done sudo su, huh? There we go. Okay, so now it's copied over. So now, once that's completed, you want to restart Linux so everything is all set to go, and then you can plug in your dongle and go ahead and run another file to make sure that the RTL-SDR dongle actually works. So we're going to test it in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and restart this. Okay, so I've restarted my computer. I'm going to plug in my dongle, and I'm going to use the same USB port each time just in case there's any issues. So I'll use that one right there. And to test this, we want to type in sudo RTL _ test space -t. It's going to ask for your password. So go ahead and hit that. Okay, so this is what we should see. It should say found one device, your Realtek with RTL2832U. Down under here, it should be using device 0, generic RTL2832U OEM, and then some ported gain values, some more information under there. Doesn't really matter, all that extra information, but basically, that's what you should see. If you see any kind of errors whenever you go ahead and test the file, that probably means you didn't install it correctly. The error most likely means that the RTL is active. If that's the case, you need to disable the drivers. To do that, I'm not going to run this, but I'll show you what the command looks like. It's sudo rmmod dvb _ usb _ RTL 2832 or 2830 or 28xxu. There we go. RTL 2832. There we go. So you run that and it should stop and disable your current drivers if they are running. You'll also need to run it again if you unplug the dongle each time if you do run into errors the first time. And of course, if you see any kind of weird characters show up when you're doing the test, it most likely means that you didn't install correctly, so go back, rewind, and do it again. Now we can download a file called a program called RTL-FM. So this program is what's actually going to let it work in your terminal. So you want to start with sudo apt-get install socks. Particularly SOX is a sound processing program for Linux. Works really well with the RTL-SDR dongle that we're using here. So make sure that you have that on your machine. And then you're ready to go. So we can go ahead and start testing it with some different frequencies if we want to. We can change the gain and stuff like that. So I'm going to try a Wideband Fm example. So for this one, I'll do RTL _ FM. It should autocomplete for that. And then mode, I'm going to change to WBFM. TAC F for the frequency. For mine, I'm going to do just a local station, 96.5 M. KOIT. I'm going to pipe that to play. TAC R. I'll go through all of these at the end once we actually make sure that it works. TAC T raw. space TAC E, S, TAC B, 16, TAC C, 1, TAC, capital V, 1, TAC. Oops, not I, TAC. There we go. Okay, it sounds like crap, but it works. And you can see it playing here too. So if you look at my screen right now, it's in the terminal. I'll go ahead and lower the volume because it sounds terrible right now. But you can see that it's running right now. The output is giving you an example right here. So I'm up to 700K. It'll just keep on going. And if we scroll up a little bit, you'll see that it's basically pulling up the Realtek device. It's going to make sure that it's on the correct channel with a sample rate, if there is any replay gain, and then you scroll down a little bit and you can see more information about it. The tuner gain is set to automatic, tuned to 96.7 hertz, so that's the channel that I tune to. Any oversampling that you've set, a buffer size, example sample rate, and so on and so forth. So if you want to quit, just hit Control-C. It'll go ahead and abort for you. So let's pull back up for that, and I'll go through all the different numbers and characters and options on there. So first off was the TAC capital M. This is the mode, so that can be wideband FM, so that's WBFM. FM radio is just FM, AM is AM, there's LSB, USB, and RAW. And then the TAC S that I have in mind is the sample rate or the bandwidth. TAC G is gain, TAC L is the squelch level if you want to add that. TAC T is the squelch delay. TAC P is an important one, that's for the PPM offset. And then TAC D, if you want to, you can do multiple dongles on here as well with TAC D. If you have a capital TAC F, that's going to be for any filters that you decide to add on. And then TAC R is output sample rate, TAC D is for dongle number, TAC F is for frequency. Obviously you need a frequency, and I think that's it. So those are all my different examples in there. So obviously that works, but let's say I want to do a different one. Let's say I want to do, narrowband FM. If I wanted to do narrowband FM, we just put in FM instead of WBFM. For frequency, it would probably be something higher. I don't know a local one off the top of my head, so I'll just put in something like that. Whatever, why not? We'll see if it works. And I need to erase the rest of this. Then we'll put in TAC S, 12K, TAC G, so the gain will be up to 50. Actually, mine's closer to 42. TAC L, 70, and then we're going to pipe this to play, TAC R, 12K, and we'll do TAC T, raw, TAC E, S, TAC B, 16, TAC C, L, and then V, 1, TAC at the end. So let's hit enter. Okay, well, that's a bad example. Okay, so obviously it's a fun program that you can play with in your terminal, and definitely mess around with the numbers and all the different options that you can put in so you can find the one that's perfect for you. If you want more information, it's over at kmkeen.com. They have a whole tutorial on how to use this program, as well as more information on how to get all the different options working for you. I just went over a few, but there's a ton on this website, so definitely go over there and learn to your heart's content. Including, they have information on how to get better sound quality, because it does sound pretty terrible when you first pull it up, and listening to multiple frequencies at once, which can be super, super fun. Now, this is just for Linux Mint. This is for Debian distros. Some Linux distros, though, do have RTL-SDR pre-installed for you. For example, there's one called Andy's Ham Radio Linux, which is the cutest name ever. So this one already has it pre-installed. There's Kali Linux, of course. We've run over that one a few times. We've used it for our SDR tutorials before, so you could always just install Kali Linux if you don't have it already. Porteus, which I've never used before. This one has it pre-installed, and then the other one that we've messed around with a little bit is GNU Radio Live DVD. So we've used the GNU Radio programs before, and that's the whole DVD if you want that one too. So if you've messed with any of those, let me know what you think of them, if I should take the time and check them out. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy RTL FM on Linux, and comment below and let me know what you think. That's it for me. Bye.
That just about wraps up this week's episode of Hak5. But before we get going, Shannon, I want to ask you something. Can you tell me what's in that box?
Well, obviously it's a carbon monoxide detector.
I think actually it's a baby monitor.
Actually, I think it's one of those things in the bathroom that spews out nice pineapple-y fresh smells.
Yes, it's definitely,
food.
or perhaps in fact a motion detector.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, or one of those things that keeps rats and other rodents away.
Ooh, good one.
Pest thingy.
There you
Or it's pineapple. Check out the ominous box. We're really proud of it. It's literally a box, but it's a box with a pineapple in it and some awesome circuitry with a little test button and a buzzer and LEDs and fun stuff. It passes the sniff test. And I do know for a fact now that, how long has it been since we went to, it was August?
DEF CON?
Yeah, when did we go to DEF CON?
3 weeks ago?
Has it been 3
Just
weeks?
about, yep.
Okay, all right, well, I'll report back. But so far, 3 weeks, I can still log into the pineapple in the place. That's we have permission, and it's really fun. So hakshop.com is where you can support us directly with the fun, inventive stuff that we are doing there, and we absolutely value your direct support that way. And you know what? You can also follow us and let us know what you think via the Twitters and stuff.
Yes, you can. hak5.org/follow is where all the links are. You can also email us if you super hate it when we go off topic and talk about strange boxes.
Or if you have crazy tech horror stories, we should just have, like, for Halloween, we send them in. Yeah. Yes, and we'll change all the names. You know, we won't mention the Fortune 500 that this came from.
Our email is feedback@hak5.org. That's where you can send all those crazy stories.
Yes, and with all of that, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
Trust your technolist. No, she's broken. She does this.